You like looking at it?
Yeah, at the moment, it might be tired of that. I like that. That's neat.
All right, I'm getting a jump start. We're a little bit early this week. I don't know, what day is it?
Sunday.
It's Sunday.
I'm watching U-Haul people try to park.
Yeah. The Eagles got crushed.
Yeah, already?
Yeah, by a bad team, no less.
I forgot to watch.
Yeah, me too.
Darn.
I was
They
doing.
were playing the Giants. Didn't they play the Giants like 2 weeks ago?
They did. I think they beat them last time, but they didn't today. They lost.
Oh, well, the Giants need one, man. They were 1-6. Poor guys.
Yeah.
Now the Eagles are 1-6. No, they're not. What are they? 3-5?
Yeah, whatever. I think that who cares?
Dude, you live in Philly, man.
Yeah, well, if you live in Philly, you've learned to not care about the Eagles because they stink.
Kurt's bummed because that knocks his sports bar business back down in Oregon.
Does it?
Yeah.
Business is bad when they're not winning.
That's what he said. I like Kurt.
Shout out to Kurt. Does Kurt watch our? No,
No.
Kurt don't watch our videos. He's too busy doing something else.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is Tech. I think this is 19, Ray. I think it's 19.
19.
Hey, 19.
I'm 19.
So, at any rate, according to what you said, we were going.
I was 19.
You were 19 when this game came out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, maybe not.
No,
Probably 25.
you were probably like 40 when this game came out.
No, I was probably 20 now. Yeah. I don't even know what year this is. It has a 3-wire cord, so it has to be 70 something.
It's got Jones plugs.
What is it? It's called Ambush.
So yeah, you said that we're doing.
I've not ever seen it.
We're doing an introduction to EM gun games this week, and since you said that, we moved 4 of them into the shop here. This is who made this? It's a Williams?
Yeah, sometimes they date code the artwork, but it's probably under here.
It's a Williams. It's an Ambush. It's 1972.
Is it? Where'd you see that?
According to this little, and it ain't going to show up. It's
on the glass.
There.
Oh yeah, here, yeah. Right.
Ambush, 1972.
Neat.
You know how old I was in 1972?
2, 1.
I was 1.
Yeah. I was in high school. So I think you're right. I was 16. No, 15. I was 15.
So you had to play things like this, huh?
Yeah.
So at any rate, there's an Ambush. We were, I guess the topic of discussion, Ray, is introduction into servicing one of these or making it work. We have, I don't know what that is, Phantom gun?
Phantom gun, yeah.
All wrapped up.
I like this. Nice little compact single.
What's it look like? Cut that open, would you?
Let me see it.
We got to see that. Don't have to cut the gangbusters open. We know what they.
Yeah, I don't know.
We know what they look like. We got 2 gangbusters here to do. Well, behind the wrapping, you can see. You can notice.
Won't work.
Yeah, something else. It's got the little factory speck of dots in there. I want to know how many hours it took him to make the.
He done. You ain't be able to tell you, man. You wouldn't want to remember it.
Yeah, make the stencil set for that. That's a pretty complex stencil set on this particular game.
Yeah.
You ever played Gangbusters before?
First off, the unskilled person wouldn't even be able to do this.
No. Yeah, all the directions in the world won't get that job done. You ever played Gangbusters before?
Yeah, I like it.
It's darn near the worst game ever.
No, it's a nice black white game.
Awful.
As far as collectability, it ranks up there with the top few, which are Haunted House, Gangbusters, and Pirate Gun.
Yeah.
You
know, I forgot to put it. I have video of you playing Pirate Gun over at Joe's when you were fixing it. Yeah, I forgot to put it in that particular video. What are you playing, Ray?
Twin Pirate.
I'm gonna figure out. You're fixing something.
Yeah. Let's figure out why the rope doesn't work. Probably the motor control board.
Oh my.
I don't know.
Stick with it. It's one of those things.
Williams.
Well, that's neat looking.
Yeah. Glass is semi.
Yeah, it's fair. Phantom. Oh, it's not Phantom Gun. It's Phantom.
Yeah. Oh, that's what Jim called it. Phantom gun.
Somebody calls it Phantom Gun, but it's Phantom.
The owner. I never seen one.
Okay, it's got the the Corian type of, or what is that stuff called?
Formica.
Formica top.
Yeah, that's neat. The little compact gun game. It reminds me of Bonanza in a way.
Yeah, that's like, looks like the same cabinet.
Oh,
Looks like a Bonanza cabinet. You ever played Bonanza before?
yeah, I kind of liked it.
That's just about the worst game ever.
I don't know where I got it from. Remember? What do you mean?
You got it from Todd.
Todd?
Todd McCullough.
McCullough, that's right. Yeah, he didn't want that.
Yeah, he gave it to you. You should have gave it to somebody else.
He should have just not done anything. Just gave it to somebody else.
What's going on in there? What's happening in the back of this thing?
Unlike that one there, most of your controls are here, so that means in the bottom this has to go.
Nice cord, yeah.
This is
Because somebody put it on and
yeah, it's a
and taped it in. I can see that's brutal.
yeah. It's a 3-wire cord game, but it should be flat cord, not round. The guys that collect these, they're not gonna want that.
Okay. No, down there's the.
This is like Bonanza.
Stuff.
It has your super chain thing there with a motor, and that's like why have they used something that heavy? It's not driving anything.
It's a motorcycle chain, a heavy motorcycle chain on there.
That's a bicycle chain at least. I mean, they should have used a little tiny 1/8 inch. That's quarter inch, 3/8.
Well, that looks like work in there, Ray. Shut that, would you?
Yeah.
I don't want to see in there anymore.
I'm gonna leave this here.
Well, the one you're working on, show us that now. This one and the one you're working, the Phantom and the Ambush are stylus type games, right? They're not blacklight or anything like that.
Stylus, yes.
And
If you're getting into a gun game, that's the one you want to get to start with.
a little more. It's kind of like a single player EM. It's a little more straightforward. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong again. Very similar to an EM pin.
Yeah.
At least from a service standpoint concerned, you're going
This is a stylus plate, and this is the gun that I have to redo. And this is the other end of the stylus. It's a spring-loaded contact point with the contact.
So what happens there is not very mystical.
Now you have a ground supplied by gun to game, and then this is the other end of it, and that's how it knows where it's at, because the gun points the stylus wherever it has to go, and it knows where it's at.
So it's a matter of pulling the trigger, and that's completes a circuit.
At the time the event is happening.
Yeah, and if it lines up with the timing of something,
Right.
it registers a hit.
And the timing is done by this, and I have to repair this because somebody did this, and I don't like this.
Well, that looks like it's broke.
No, I'm gonna make one out of the correct finger that should be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's-
I'm not leaving that.
That's ugly.
Well, that's all they had to make it work. And I imagine it will work if you adjust it.
I
Right,
can't
but
help it.
I don't like it.
I didn't know TNT worked on gun games.
Yeah, I guess they were at this one. This has to go home.
Oh, I almost made it through this one without mentioning them.
You had to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if I'm ready to take that home or not.
Yeah, probably not. Okay, so I'm back here. What else? Wow, you just described how the whole thing works, really. There isn't much else to it.
No, you have your game boards. This is a handle because this is so heavy. There's 4 screws, and then you lift this out, and it goes up and is connected with Jones plugs. I've already serviced these.
There's
as
the
you
Jones
can
plugs
see.
again. Same as the regular EM service. Clean them.
Feed this down through, and then this will come out. Then you can get to your cosmetics to clean things and service, and then that bottom tray lifts out. There's probably, I'm going to replace this bridge. There's 3 screws, and the bottom tray comes out. Then you can get at cleaning and servicing. I like to use WD on the metal work and then air it off. And then you clean your artwork. I like using a terry cloth wringed out with water, warm water especially. It dissolves dirt quicker. And then maybe some light soap on it, not a lot. This cardboard is a pretty tough material, but you don't want to spray something directly on it. You want to have your rag, and then you have your dry rag nearby with your wet rag. You wipe it off wet and then dry it immediately. And then the finish on these is, I like to put Pledge on a towel and wipe these with Pledge. These are, you put black light in here and these glow.
Yeah.
They're effervescent paint or whatever.
Iridescent.
Iridescent.
They're iridescent paint.
Iridescent paint. Yeah, that is correct actually, isn't it? Iridescent.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. They glow.
No, I don't think iridescent is glow. I think it's phosphorescent.
Phosphorescent.
There's the trivia question of the day: is how do you spell that?
Phosphorescent is what they
It doesn't
are.
start with an F either.
It's phosphorescent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you clean them with Pledge on a towel after you're done with the soap and water, because Pledge doesn't clean off water-based dirt. And then that'll make these real bright, and they'll really glow a lot. Now, somebody has taken the black lights out and put regular lamps in here. That's
Wrong.
not going to do anything any good. These yellow ones may be correct. These might be when you hit something, they blow up. But you're supposed to have black light, unless they have a black light on the other end of this. I don't know. I've never done this particular model.
Yeah, we'll figure it out when you get towards the end.
Yeah.
Right now it's a matter.
They either used round black light or they used a 24-inch tube, you know.
Right now it's a matter of really, primarily just cleaning everything.
Points, metalwork, freeing and hand cycling the mechanisms over. You oil this motor with the oil tubes here. It is free. I mean, it's not in bad shape. You're right. This is a good Corey he got. He got it at the Allentown show in a trailer. And
How neat.
I remember when him and Mark were looking. He bought, this guy was, I think, from New York. He bought 2 or 3 games from this guy. They just were beat looking. I mean, they didn't.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's not been in a moist area. It's nice shape.
No, it doesn't look too bad in there, but you're talking at least, 15, 20 hours of just straight cleaning.
Yeah. And then you've got to file points. I got this side done here. You can see the dots have been cleaned.
Right.
I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to put
That
this
thing
in.
there.
I'm done with this. I did all my point stacks here. I did the Jones plug here. I'm working my way over to here. I didn't do this area, but I'm going to do a line cord, and I don't want this. What this did before was this went to a service outlet, which is not even here anymore, and these went here.
Okay.
And then these, this is an odd game. 70s machines combined vinyl with cloth, which is odd because most of your games that use cloth were cloth in the 60s.
So this was a changeover for the wiring.
Cloth insulator, yeah, this was a changeover, and they combined vinyl. Very odd, like besides the line cord thing, you see the vinyl go to the main transformer tap, 115, and it comes out and goes in the factory wax wrap, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I thought somebody did that when I saw this stuff, but there's no way they can get it in the wax wrap practically. No. And then there's another one that's really tight into here. It's yellow vinyl. And then right next door is your
factory was
stuff,
using
right?
them both.
Yeah, they were.
In fact, this may actually be the changeover machine where they were wiring it and they ran out of the cloth and they said, oh, here we go.
Not that it matters, but I'm going to tell you what does matter. When you solder cloth wire, the conductors inside these cloth wires, sometimes you can't really solder these. You have to take a file and scratch off the surface to resolder them, like when you go to take these off to put onto your new fuse holder here, which I prepped. This is a spare here. I don't know why they did that, but I put it back because of mounting screw and all.
Okay.
Anyway, these can be hard to solder back on.
Why's that?
I think because the conductors are so old that they don't take to new solder even with flux.
Huh.
And it takes a lot of heat to do it, and sometimes you can't do it. So what I've learned is you take a flat file, and most of these you want to cut back and use new wires instead of trying to get this off. Let's see if it comes off real easy. That's not too bad. But some of these, if they're frayed and they're not enough conductors, you cut it back. And when you cut it back, it looks like a nice silver wire, but it's hard to solder
Doesn't
on
like
this
to take
stuff.
solder, huh?
No, you have to file it. You take the strands and hold them and just file them, and then that gives you a copper. It'll go down to copper, and then it'll solder well. This is true on pinballs too. I've never had a problem soldering anything with a vinyl coating on it because it's generally newer, but some of the older games with the cloth wire, they're hard to solder.
Unusual.
Yeah, so I did notice that, and you're not going to get it. I don't care if you have one of them 140 watt irons, you know, the big gun type. The heat is not a problem. The fact that the metal is oxidized and it won't take solder.
Huh.
I mean, you could stick it in the flux, it still won't take solder. The pinballs are terrible to do because when they get old, the wiring starts falling off the posts here, like this. This just fell off. You can see the solder splash is still shaped flat the way it should go right here.
It just let go.
It just let go. No reason. It's starting to happen on older pinballs, especially wood rails from the 50s.
So what? So as part of your service, I mean, on this type of overhaul, what do you do as you're going along, following the points? Do you give each wire a tug to see if it's...
I straighten them out because they've been stressed and smashed. So as I'm straightening them out to check whether they're bent over and shorted, then I make sure they're going to stay on.
Give them a tug.
Yeah, some of it is just a maintenance issue as you own these games. If you have something fall off, you just have to notice it.
Yeah, well, you're not going to resolder on 1,000 spots.
No, you don't want to disturb that. No.
Leave it alone, but at the same time, you do want to check and see if it's on the verge of falling off,
right,
or showing
Well, be aware
weakness.
that they will fall off as they age.
Right.
Your 50s pins fall off with a lot of regularity. The wedge hit.
And that becomes a maintenance issue for the owner, really. This type of machine is not for your general homeowner. It really isn't. This is more for someone who's
advanced hobbyist.
Yeah, who's willing to.
You have to understand and maintain this as you use it. It's not for a homeowner to enjoy in the fact that you're never going to see a repair needed.
Right.
And you're never going to see a simple repair. It's going to be something that you're going to have some thought behind, because look at the complexity of this thing. Yeah, they don't lend themselves easy. No gun game, regardless of model, doesn't really lend itself to easy repair. Although little ones like that have a lot less going on than this.
Well, sure. It's same with the pinballs of all time. The less features it has, the simpler it's going to be to chase what problems it has.
Yeah, generally what problems they have is related to dirty and oxidized points, and points that don't close, that are just sitting here floating and they don't actually lean. You can see that's leaning against this. If it was like this and it wouldn't be leaning against it, if it would just be barely touching,
yeah, it'll be a failure.
That's a
and it'll be
failure.
an intermittent failure.
And as you clean these, you lean them over and make sure that you have a deliberate. When one leaf is touching the other one, make sure it pushes on it. You can see it sway it. That's the key to servicing these. You know, you don't just do it by sight. You can't say, well, that's closed.
Right.
No. That's where you make a mistake, and these will not work.
Actuate it by hand. Make
If
sure
enough of switches in the right places are floating and don't deliberately contact, these won't work at all. You won't get anything going on except lights. You know. That's the key to servicing one of these things, other than stuff like this that breaks. You know, people can't find a part and they come up with a fix like this.
I'm sure that didn't work very well.
No, I mean, it was scraping. You know, I cleaned it off. This broken piece was scraping on there. And this pad, since they didn't solder it out over the ridge, wasn't even contacting the dot much.
Yeah,
no, that's the kind of stuff you don't leave go when you're doing stuff like this.
Well, I'm a little happy to look at this machine, Ray. It doesn't actually look all that complex. There isn't much to this one.
I don't see that we'll have a problem making this deadline for this guy.
This one's straightforward.
Get these four in the works for him. I'm even thinking the gangbusters, really. I'm going to source a third machine. Bill Lindley has one.
Okay, well,
because that's missing. One of those is missing a tape deck and some other parts. And
who wants a restored game without a tape deck?
yeah, So I'm thinking on grabbing bills. And I talked to old Jim already, and he don't care about that, of course. So I think that's what I'll do, because that's a local machine, and I can get that for probably $1,000 or something. And that'll help me finish one of them quicker. Because I don't want to take 2 to make 1 and then go backwards and do double
No,
order.
of course not.
I want to move on both at the same time, because he's had both finished.
Well, there's another little tip if you want to get involved with EMs, and this doesn't apply only to gun games, but you want to get your feet wet in restoration or major overhauls, buy a pair of something.
Yeah, it's an easy way to.
Even if you only end up stealing 2 or 3 parts off of the duplicate one, what it comes in handy for is if you do the first one right, you really are going to take it apart quite a bit.
Here's my solder. I'll show you if this goes on.
And machine 2 will give you a template to build machine 1.
Yeah, that's the most logical.
Ray, I did that with the pair of haunted houses, and it worked out well.
Do it with anything.
I was doing 2, and I had a third.
It's a guide, and it makes things easier, and you can apply that to anything.
And now we didn't steal very much off of the third machine. No? I sold that. Well, actually, I guess I did part it out, but that could have gone as a relatively complete project. Yeah, the solder just fell right off of that, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Let's see here how it works.
But yeah, that saved me a lot of hours in rebuild time.
Most people aren't going to tolerate the heat involved in this process.
But you're Robo. You're the $6 million man. You don't actually have fingers anymore. They're just.
So you might want to get a pair of.
Forceps.
Yeah, or tweezers or
surgical.
These things are nice to have. You know,
okay.
You could hold the wire on, because most people won't be able to tolerate that kind of heat, because it's several hundred degrees out at the end. And if you don't hold it close, you're not going to get it on here like this. It has to be like this. So, but yeah, that's generally working. You just go down the line, take one off at a time, so you don't, your supply lines and your
Yeah, you don't really want to cross them up.
No, take one off at a time so you're not confused, or you can cut it off and leave an indicator of what went there.
Sure.
But if your wires are short, you might want to know. You might want to leave, unless the conductors are not all there.
Right.
Which is important. Don't solder on.
Yeah, if you've got a few strands, well then buck it up, cut it off, and start from scratch.
Yeah.
But in this case, like you were saying with the cloth wires, if you look there and it's not damaged, then unsolder it and resolder it the way it was.
The reason to replace these is what we said before. These lose their clamp effect on the fuse, and also the design of this only contacts a fuse that wide.
Yeah, bad.
Twice. Bad.
Out of here. This
is all the way around the fuse in there.
Right.
So that's why you change them. Don't leave these in a game, because of that fact, these things will tend to get hot, because the current demand on the supply side is different than the end that wants the current. The transformer supply side to the game is going to be different across here, and you'll create heat, and then you won't have a game that plays real well. So it's a simple matter of maintenance. You do these first, and you want to put a line cord on. I got to get more of these from Steve. I have one left. I used 50 last year.
50 line cords?
Of this.
Of that particular line cord.
Style, yeah. The other ones I used more of. So I got to buy another 50.
Okay.
You don't have to be real particular with the style of cord that goes on the game unless you're servicing for a collector, and you're going to want the flat.
Correct stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, why not put the right thing on there while you're there?
Yeah.
What's that line cord cost? $5?
Yeah, something like $7.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. But that's simply the architecture of the game. This is your lock here for your back glass. These are all designed the same. You swing out your wing nut,
and that'll allow you to lift it out.
Yeah, that's the same.
And the only thing on the other side of that is bulbs.
That's right.
Right? There's nothing else there.
Right. And I like using frosted LED bulbs in these because 44s like they used in these are too hot. The paint's already starting to bake off this stuff.
Finished, yeah, it's
Don't put those back.
bad for the back
Put
glass.
frosted warms or cools and get the heat off the glass because these things have a lot of age to start with, and if you're going to put them back.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is start cooking them and letting them cool off.
Now
and
this
cooking them.
doesn't have the woes of pinball machines because there's not that much GI in it. You don't see connectors burn up.
Right, right.
You won't see, well, these Jones plugs are not going to burn
No,
up
that
anyway.
they're pretty heavy.
If these were used in the pinballs, these would not have burned up for GI. But no, you're not going to have any kind of current problem like that. No, in this case, it's for the cosmetic glass of it all. And in this case here, this is neat. See this red piece of wood?
I see a red piece
That's
of wood.
packing. No, that was never removed from the. You're supposed to take that off when you unpack this game. That's a shipping wedge.
Nice.
Yeah, that's funny. They left that there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool, Ray. I'm going to let you get back to work. I guess the overview is clean, lubricate mechanical assemblies, clean your Jones plugs, replace your fuse block. Replace your fuse block on any game that's pre.
I guess. Well, even some of the
into some of the 80s.
even some of the 70s pins like roller disco and System 1.
Yeah, well, those are 80s pins, like Haunted House and stuff like that.
Fuse blocks.
Fuse block. If
Haunted House is terrible. That has 8 in
Yeah.
a row, man. On the side of the cabinet. Yeah, no, replace fuse blocks.
So yeah, if you're into the 80s and back and you see an original fuse block, get it out of there.
Yeah, your 90s pins and your mid and late 80s pins generally were fuse on circuit boards. They did away with blocks.
Right.
Yeah, that's old.
And then, so after the fuse block and those other Jones plugs and such,
You can WD-40 this fiber material like I done here. You might notice it's shiny.
Mhm.
You spray it on and then just wipe it off. And then that keeps these from oxidizing so quick.
Nice.
And you don't want to leave it wet, of course, but
Yeah.
you at least want to clean it off. I like WD for that.
So then the final thing is to just clean and adjust
Yeah,
all the points.
yeah.
Or any type of switch contact, these
All
or
of them. Don't leave any.
Yep.
No matter how hard they are to get to. And then, rotate your game in the direction of the travel of the parts and just make sure your switches are all open and closed deliberately. Before you leave a mechanism, do the whole thing. Don't just say, well, I'll do this and then I'll check that later. And then check for stuff like this. Like this is a ground here. It's yellow.
Oh,
And it's not really
look at that! It's just hanging. It's just
it's loose like crazy and the screw's almost ready to
Yeah,
fall out.
that
That's
needs-
the kind of stuff you want to check.
that
when
needs
you're-
attention.
Yeah, it's a simple thing when you're poking around in here. So those are the kind of things you want to do when you get some device like this, whether it's a gun game or any kind of old arcade skill game.
Okay, Ray, that's pretty cool.
They're fun, people still like what they do. And as far as for your home owner, you're really not going to see too much of this being wanted. These are collectors. They like these. Very few. I have about 3 or 4 homeowners that I have in mind that actually have machines like this, and they don't collect, they just like it.
Right.
You don't see this type stuff in your usual collection. Like Jim wouldn't have it. Or
No.
you'd see a Joe and a Mark and a Jim,
Yeah, high-end guys want this.
Yeah, these, and who is going to want to pay for this type of artwork? I mean, this is
No.
not
Serious. It's for serious. It's generally
Yeah,
for serious. But that being said, if you're your age, there's no reason why you can't have this.
true.
If you want it, you can have it, and you can pick
pick up
at
a
it.
core cheap.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to look like this to have it.
No.
Cosmetically has very little to do with how how the machine's going to work.
Right.
You can get in there. You're not afraid to clean points and do a little soldering and clean the guts of it. It can be done.
I'll probably do something with the hinges on this.
Okay. Tons of cosmetic work.
Yeah, just little stuff that I'd like to have done if I was, you know, wanting.
Ray, I'm out of film. I think we're actually done with the tech video for this week, but I'm going to come back. We'll put it.
We can patch some other little tidbits in as I go along on this.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm out of film, so shut up.
Oh, you want to play the song? Okay, I'll take it.
Be right back, folks. All right, Ray. I think we surprised everybody this week by actually producing a fairly short tech video.
Okay.
Isn't that exciting? What else we got to do here? Who do you want to shout out to this week?
I guess Aaron V, is it?
Aaron V.
Yeah.
Isn't he part of the Southampton Pinball Club?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, we have a little something from him. You know, he left us a message on our answering machine,
Yeah.
and well, it looked like this.
You have one saved message. First saved voice message.
Hey, this is Aaron from the Pinball Club. I was watching your passion video of TNT amusements, and I'm not going to post anything online, but that's just funny as hell. I agree with you. TNT is just some garbage, but anyway, keep it up, guys. You guys do some great refurbishing jobs. Beautiful games. Thanks again. Have a good one. Bye.
So that was fun. What are we going to talk about next week, Ray?
I think playfield parts.
Playfield parts. What is a playfield part?
Well, the rubber rings in particular. What different kinds there are, and how it affects gameplay. You know, there's different colors of rubber that are not just colors. They do different things. Like some are bouncier than others. Some are harder than others. And then you've got different colors of main rubber rings, including flipper stuff. I want to touch on rubber parts first, and then we'll go into some of the other little stuff you can get, like, you know, playfield protectors for hole pockets and such. You know,
Oh, Cliffy stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just go over some of the things that people can buy for their pinball machines that they can do. You know, rubber rings should be replaced every couple of years. They're all in common with one thing: they're natural rubber, and they crack and just deteriorate.
Well, what are we shooting next week's tech video already?
No, but I think that's what we're going to try to cover, and maybe we'll throw in some other little things.
Okay, that's cool. We did the shout out. We did Ray's Tech. Well, first, before Ray's Tech Tips, next week will be Sunday's pin feature. This coming Sunday's pin feature is going to be Safecracker. I'm done with it already, Ray. All I got to do is upload it. It's I'm trying to work ahead a little bit. So tune in for Safecracker on Sunday, and then next Friday for Ray's Tech Tips on playfield parts, rubbers and posts and cliffies and whatever else we get into
Posts,
then.
Yeah, different things. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. We're glad to have you with us, and we appreciate your comments and likes and subscribes and all that fun stuff. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. See you next week.
Hi, we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Want to know what's coming next? Go like us on Facebook right now. You can keep up to date with all of us here at the shop and what we've been up to. Thank you for watching.